that Garrett Nelson declares for the NFL.
Right. I can understand it. I mean, he's played. He's a good. First of all, Garrett's a great kid. Great kid. He's from Scotts Bluff, hard worker. Great teammate. He's a tough kid. He's gotten better every year, I think, in my opinion, especially the last 2 years. Um, and so I can't fault him. At this point, I don't think it's a point of like I felt. Here's I'll say this: I felt like some guys last year declared for the draft as a way of quitting. That's my opinion,
Okay.
right? But I don't think that's with the way with Garrett because I know that dude ain't gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? I know it. I know more about what he's made up of than it trusts what he's made up of. So I think he probably weighed his options. He probably figured like, okay, what's the upside versus downside, so forth and so on. They had the conversation. Maybe didn't like what it. I'm not a privy to that, but do I think he'll make it? I think he'll make it because Garrett's a hard worker. He's a football player. I think if he just like what everybody. It doesn't matter if it's C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Garrett Nelson, Jay Foreman. If he gets drafted to the right team, that's going to use his attributes, what he does positively, and not try to make him do something that he doesn't do well. He will play well.
Then let's start there. What does Garrett Nelson do that is of an NFL regular down lineman ready?
Well, number one, I think he has a unique quality that's not a guaranteed anymore. He plays hard.
Mhm.
Okay. Physical, he's a strong guy. He's got, good enough size. I think the only thing that really hurts him is a little bit of tweener and can he get out there and really cover? Right.
Will he have to cover?
You got to be able to cover in the league at some point. Unless you're
Is
Von Miller.
is he going to have his? That's my thing. Is he going to have his hand in the dirt?
I think here's what I think with Garrett. I think in the right system, he's played enough standing up. He'll be fine. I think he can rush standing up, but I think as Nebraska actually, and I remember it was 3 seasons ago at Purdue where Nebraska, with Boodle was still on the team, so whenever that was, Garrett, they had him rush the passer, was hand in the dirt, and after that, you've seen him ascend. So get him somewhere where he can rush the passer. I think getting there and learning different pass rush moves and getting more opportunities to do nothing but pay dividends for him. I know or expect him to be able to play effectively on all 4 core special teams and then some because he's done it here. And so for him, it's just getting in the right spot and learning how to play the game of football and learning more.
Is this Matthews? Is this T.J. Watt? Is this?
No, it's Garrett Nelson. You're talking about dudes that are Hall
Well,
of Famers.
but I mean, just in formula. I'm not talking about.
If Garrett would called me and asked me what I would, here's what advice would I get I would give to him, excuse me. Based on just the preliminary talks that I talk, 2 people I usually talk to. One's a GM, one's like assistant GM. I would tell him or float it out there and let's trim down and get to where we're the quickest and fastest.
Okay.
And let's work on our weaknesses because they know when they turn on the tape, he played like with a man with his hair on fire. They know that when given the opportunity, he's shown the ability to get to the quarterback. Is it elite? Is he Will Anderson? No, he's Garrett Nelson. Because I think with him, you already know he can get up to, I'm assuming 255, 260 if he had to play like a, boundary in. But I think with him, with his functional strength and the way that he plays, as far as playing hard, being closer to 40 or 45 would pay him a ton of dividends because he doesn't need to go to the combine and be like a 5 technique. You know what I'm saying? They want to see him. They're going to want to see how he moves. He's got to run well. He's got to jump well. And he's got to go side to side better than he ever has up to this date. He does that, he's fine.
And is this enough time for him to make that adjustment?
When was the combine? April?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got more. Well, that's between him and his agent and his family. That's just if he called me, that's what I would tell him.
We'll go to a break. We'll come back when we get to a couple of texts. We got a couple of texts about Garrett Nelson. We'll get to those. And then I'll ask you this question. I'll give you time to think about it. You mentioned system, that if he gets in the right system, he'll have a better shot at being successful. We'll ask Jay Foreman what those systems are. What teams and what systems would we try to hope and pray that Garrett Nelson gets picked up by? We'll get that when we come back and close out the first hour.